No, we're just gonna go for it.
We'll just go for it. Okay, hello everyone. This is the to be announced podcast because we don't have a name, or that may be the name. We can't decide yet. We'll figure it out. So we're gonna start intros, what movies we like. That's how we're gonna start, and then we're
just gonna do a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, and
some things
some
that
forward, some preface,
some
forward,
some future projects, some future things.
Yeah, and we'll see what, and then we're gonna get into Tenet. Yeah. But Tenet's going to be the main topic probably of this episode. First half, introduction, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, all right. Do you want to start with your
I think
you should start.
I think you should start with yours.
My name's Will. Love movies. I'm not as technical as the man we have behind the camera, Matthew, or Win here. They've got a little work in movies and just filming stuff. Me, not at all. Just love movies. They're great. We all love movies. I think everyone who's somewhat of a human likes movies. No offense to someone that doesn't. Favorite movies, I'd say, are Jaws. Got the shark back here. Love it. It's my personal blanket. Hang it on the wall. It's great. Favorite movie, number one, Nightcrawler, Batman vs. Superman. I know, controversial.
Absolutely. Movie.
Wolf of Wall Street. Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal, love that man. Call me. You won't see this, but I think those are probably some up there. Breakfast Club, love some. God, I'm gonna say the wrong name. No, John Hughes, love John Hughes. Directors.
Who's that?
John Hughes. Shut the fuck. I hate you. Okay, some of my personal faves. Those are mine. I just love movies. Watch them all the time. Now, this man right here.
Hi.
He's going to do his introduction.
I'm just going to do it monotone.
Hi, I'm just Win. Read it.
I don't have a Hi, I'm Win. Hi, I'm Win. I don't really have a professional background in the film industry, but I've worked at odd jobs before, and I've met some actors, and the reason why I'm doing this is so that I can just bash on them because they absolutely suck sometimes. My background in this really is I just love movies. He's already said it, but
everyone loves movies.
Everyone loves movies. Yeah.
If you don't have a favorite movie, that's just kind of weird. Even if it's like The Room or Tommy Wiseau, if you like The Room,
it's a good movie.
There's a lot of people that like that movie. Though.
I know, but it's like this is a little off topic, but Disaster Artist and The Room, I hate those movies. The Room is a bad good movie, but I hate it. And same with the Disaster Artist.
I hate it too. The only reason why I like it is because it's bad.
Yeah. Which is fair,
but
that's
fine.
And I love a lot of movies like that, like some of the bad movies. We can get into that.
I love how we just steered clear from my introduction because I was about to bash on actors. No, I'm just kidding. Continuing on my introduction, I love the technicalities of movies. Really, I love writing, and I love camera work and cinematography. But I love cinematography more. So that's why I'm kind of into this kind of thing because I love watching Roger Deakins stuff and that guy that works with I can never remember his name because it's in a different language and it's in that language, but the guy that works with Christopher Nolan, I love his cinematography.
That's
He's
one
worked
thing
with him in 3 different movies.
I'm awful at and I wish I was better at I know the actors' names, directors' names, not always.
Be careful hitting that, by the way.
But I would wish I knew more composers' names and stuff because they make the movie just as much as the actors do.
Yeah.
But I think is that your intro? Are you done?
I think I'm
with
done.
your intro.
Yeah. I think I'm done.
Okay. Well,
that's all.
And so we talked. Some of your personal favorite movies. What about that? I listed off a few.
Personal favorite? It changes from time to time.
I feel like everyone does.
Yeah.
Like those.
I think mine is mostly Nightcrawler.
Again, love Nightcrawler. That's my favorite. Again, Jake Gyllenhaal.
These are pretty low budget ones, but Nightcrawler, The Chef with Jon Favreau.
Yes,
I love that movie. And that one with Scarlett Johansson.
The only reason why you like that film is because you remember that she was naked.
Well, Scarlett Johansson also has my heart, 100%. But
I understand it.
The only reason why I don't remember the name or the whole story, I vaguely remember it, but I loved it a lot. I've only seen it once though, so that's the only reason why I don't like.
Yeah, that's one thing with movies. I wish, everyone, we watch a ton of movies. It's great. But some of them, I'm like, I don't remember this movie at all.
No.
Like Dune, like we're getting remake of that. Very excited. Dennis Villanueva, love him.
Under the Skin. Sorry.
Yes, yes. Okay, haven't seen that, but I mean,
I love that movie. I just don't remember it much because I was either drunk or too busy doing something else. And like after or something. I don't know. It's something like I just don't remember it.
it's.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a good
Those are at least my top 3.
top 3.
It changes.
Yeah, mine were in no particular order whatsoever, except Jaws, number 1, always. Fun fact: my great, no, maybe just one great. It's one of my grandparents, probably just one great.
The
Helped
other one
build.
wasn't great.
He wasn't as good. No, he the first. I think it was my great granddad on my dad's side helped build the boat for Jaws, and just a little family tie to it. So
He may have killed someone in that film
maybe I don't know
during
I
the
don't know.
production. He was a part.
Love Steven Spielberg. I mean, okay, and so that's kind of our interest. We're
Ooh, I feel like we should
Will?
talk about Steven Spielberg at some point.
we could totally do director episodes, even maybe
I think
short
that'd be cool.
ones, but just to kind of go into that, some future content. Great segue. We'll
You're welcome.
future content. Some stuff I have written down is shorts. We'd love to maybe write and direct. I would not be good at that. I hate writing. I will act. I will do whatever y'all tell me to. Trailers on a budget is something. Shorts
Yeah.
were definitely more of Wynn's
Mine, yeah.
idea, and totally for it. Trailers on a budget is one of my ideas. I think what we would do is maybe we got Wynn, Will, and Matthew behind the camera. We'll probably introduce.
I love
him.
how you waved your hand and no
Eh,
one was
we'll,
seeing.
we'll introduce him at some point. I mean,
He's gonna have his own camera.
he'll have his own episode of introduction. Why not,
Yeah,
right?
why not? No, he's just gonna be the
probably,
mystery man.
probably just.
The man behind. Yeah, just
That'd
the
be-
man behind the camera.
It'd be
you know?
nice to have a little mystery. I mean, they'd probably think you're the hottest, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep. Well, as we were saying, trailers on a budget.
Wow, so narcissistic.
I think trailers on a budget is something I had an idea a long time ago, but we could do. I'd like us to almost compete, or even just we all do it together. Is like take a trailer like Avengers or Spider-Man or I don't know, Tenet. Take one of the trailers and redo it, but we have a set amount of money to spend, and we can't use anything from the other trailer. Like we have to make our own music for it,
Oh.
and like it could be cars, it could be claymation, whatever. And I think I would like to compete, but I don't feel like we have enough resources
No,
for
we can-
that
we
at
can
first.
do it.
Maybe we'll figure it
It
out.
doesn't have to be that
That's
quick.
but yes,
Yeah.
trailers on a budget is an idea I would love to do. Movie news,
Yeah,
just
at
keep
some
it up.
point.
Like just before this, we recorded this
They
actually.
really dropped. in
The
WandaVision.
WandaVision trailer dropped, and we reacted to that. I guess that's kind of movie news. We'd almost want to do an own separate thing where
Yeah.
it's like today in movies or whatever, or and even that goes into the next one is like this day in movie history. Like say the Oscars happened today or something, and like in the 1980s, like whoever won Best
Yeah,
Picture.
yeah.
Just a little short thing that'd probably just go into one of the podcasts if you want to. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Oh, you're good.
so
No, you're fine.
so yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, we're also gonna talk about best of the worst. Like, actually, before we recorded this, we were just talking about The Room.
I think we
And-
talked about it.
Yeah,
It is
It was
in
in
the
here?
recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do. My brain it
That's-
gets restarted every now and then. So yeah, we're gonna talk about like the best of the worst movies. Maybe like in that year, because there's
Yeah,
definitely
there-
some bad ones.
Like
I don't know.
The Room, definitely probably the most famous best
Yeah.
worst movie.
Yeah.
I did not it or like yeah.
Or something from this year, like Mulan. We're probably.
I don't think
we're-
Mulan's gonna be that
it's
bad. We
gonna-
haven't watched it yet.
I'm gonna tell you now, it's pretty bad.
but it's a
but-
Disney movie. Okay, I hope it.
There's a
proves
lot
y'all-
of controversy. In
I
the movie.
I bet it is.
yeah.
I probably will be. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Some movies, like talking about best of the worst is definitely The Predator. I think that was 2018 because I worked at a movie theater. That's, I guess, a little background I have in movies. But The Predator, I think it was just The Predator because The Predator is Predator or 2, whatever. Yeah. The most recent Predator was no expectations for it. Wanted to see it though. It was awful. Loved every second of it though. Like they had this cliche line of "get to the chopper." Arnold says that in the first one, right? But they're looking at get to the chopper. He first, but they're looking at motorcycles. They're like, "Get to the choppers." I'm just like, "Oh my god, are you really?" Okay, but I loved it. Movie. Best of the worst though. That's something. Again, probably will just be a segment.
Yeah. And then first impressions. I think we're gonna talk about that here actually. And then streaming podcast. We're gonna work on that. Cause I mean,
almost split up. Yeah. Because you've got your big budget movies. I mean, I guess even the streaming movies are big budget. Yeah. But we're
talking about like Netflix exclusive stuff,
Amazon, Hulu, just to stick to those, and because
HBO Max.
I feel like those are almost sometimes more accessible than the going to the movie theaters because movies are fucking expensive.
Yeah. Drunk cast and reels. That's gonna be probably a bunch of us just watching movies and just getting hammered.
Yeah, so
you're probably gonna see his face for like the first time.
Well, and it's totally stealing an idea. Mystery Science Theater. I mean, but it's fine. We're all about original content here.
I mean, how original can you be at this time? Anyways?
I know that's one thing I'd love to talk about is when are just everything's just gonna almost be reboots. Like original ideas are almost hard to come by.
Properties redone.
Like we're talking about Tenet, and I feel like Christopher Nolan is the king of original stuff right now. Yeah. And A24 is definitely, I think,
they're up there.
They're love them. Literally everything they do.
Content.
Midsummer Shirt. Can't love it. Shout out to
still haven't seen that movie.
Shout out to Graveyard Goods. Love you. Watch that. No way he's gonna see this either, but
we're gonna shut him out at some point.
We'll shut him out. Love him. Love your shirts. That's pretty much all the future content, because there's also, we want to get social media going, a website, a store, just Patreon. Different sets, because this is definitely a temporary set. You may never see this set again. This may be the last time you see this,
or you might see it in the next.
It may be. That is true. We literally just saw something else on it, so you'll see it in the next one, but it may be gone tomorrow. We'll see. That's one thing we do have. What do we prefer in movies? Like MCU, DC. Superheroes, biggest thing probably right now. We literally skipped right over that. Yeah. But MCU, DC, biggest stuff probably right now. Superheroes, it's cool to be nerdy now, which is awesome, because I mean, I would say that became a thing when we were growing up. Like it wasn't born. I would love to be in the 80s, just complete nerd.
No, I feel like the whole like MCU stuff, like comic book stuff, like anything comic book related, it was like it had like a very small amount of audience
at first, definitely.
And it was like it was attached to nerds. It was attached to like.
And that's why we were talking about this the other day. I think we have Disney to thank for that, because it was Paramount and Universal did the first 3, because Universal was Incredible Hulk. But yeah.
No, hold on. They had Spider-Man first.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, I think also, honestly, that was probably the start of it becoming cool, because wasn't Spider-Man one of the first to make $1 billion? I think it was.
As a superhero, like the franchise in general?
I think it was one of the first movies to make $1 billion.
I don't remember, but if you're counting their marketing, like not marketing, but the products that came out with, like toys and clothing items and all that, they might have reached that much. I don't think
Titanic.
In terms of superhero movie, I think that was like the highest.
I think it was the highest. Because before that, what did you have? I think you had Spawn, and
you had the
older looking, like
you had the old Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Captain America, all those. We're getting too hooked on MCU. I know. Like, we can move to DC, which is a mess right now. Love them, though. Love DC. I'm a diehard DC fan.
I'm more of an MCU fan.
Better comics, better stories. And
Oh no, that's not even arguable. But the comic book stuff, the comics that they have, I love their comic books,
I think
especially the dark stuff.
I think it, but DC does the same exact stuff, like the Batman Who Laughs.
No, I'm
which-
talking about DC.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's
yes.
what I
Okay,
love
I was about to
DC.
say, don't. I will
Yeah.
argue this, which we will. We will definitely get into arguments on these podcasts. But so
We should be drunk for that.
Great idea.
yeah, like we were talking about the drunk cast, maybe watching something, even
Mhm.
just a podcast of us
Yeah.
being hammered. And then there's just the big blockbusters, which I would say Tenet is one.
Yeah.
What else? I mean,
The
franchises.
big blockbusters.
Franchises are the biggest.
The Disney stuff.
Disney's like
Disney.
that's
They're
just,
they're rebooting a bunch of movies,
which
or
again,
they're doing
that'd
a
be
live
great
action. Like,
topic is just reboots versus the smaller stuff. Like I would say A24, definitely a little
Yeah.
bit of a smaller thing right now. But it's got so much traction because it's literally
yeah.
all their movies are really
Anything
good.
original is a small budget.
That's one-
so.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one I didn't say. Hereditary is definitely up there. One of
Yeah.
my favorite movies. Love Hereditary. Probably best movie of I guess 2018.
Oh, you know what? You know what's a really good example of best of the worst?
yes.
I think a really good example of that is like Birds of Prey.
That
That was pretty bad.
it's pretty bad, but you still watched it because
Yeah.
Margot Robbie, and it was a superhero movie. That's just
It was just so bad.
it was bad.
It made me very frustrated. We'll talk about it. We'll
yeah.
talk about that at some point.
I think, and then yeah, but that's. I prefer personally the smaller stuff. I
Yeah, me
love
too.
MCU. I think it'll go for another 10 years. I think DC will have the better next 10 years, but we'll see.
I love like smaller budgets.
But yeah, smaller
like, more
budget.
independent
And
stuff.
I would almost, I know Netflix spends a ton on movies, but some of their
They're
movies.
getting there.
Some of their movies are almost, I would consider smaller budget, like what just came out. I mentioned it. I'm thinking of ending things. That
Yeah.
movie probably had a really low budget, and it was really good. It was kind of confusing, but it's very good. So I think that's everything for housekeeping
Yeah.
now.
Is
I
that it?
think we will go on to Tenet now or something. Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Drink break, charge break. It's just what happened. The camera probably maybe look different, but it's
let's
fine
just say that.
because
I smacked it. That was my fault.
Matthew smacked it. A
Matthew
little.
smacked it. He likes smashing it.
Okay, where we were talking, just what we're gonna do with this segment is just the biggest movie on what's going right now. And Tenet was like 3 weeks ago, but it's still though probably the biggest movie
It's still
out.
relevant because it's the only movie out.
Yeah, just damn Rona pushing everything back. But we're gonna try and do with the big movies 10 minutes spoiler free. Hopefully, I'm gonna have a timer. We may not always do that, but we're just gonna get as much as we can, and then we'll do probably 20 minutes, good 20 minutes of actual spoiler stuff. And I'm gonna start.
That's just the format of the entire.
The
thing.
format of
like
this.
from here now, from here
We'll try.
to then. Yeah.
We'll try and follow it. So I'm going to start.
Who knows?
the
We might not
timer.
follow it.
So we're gonna start. Probably this format will probably be followed for most things. It's just thoughts before we watched it.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, love that man. Does excellent work on everything. So I was gonna see it regardless,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of movies. Honestly, for me, is I will see it regardless. Like Predator, like I mentioned earlier.
Before learning anything about this movie, I didn't. Okay, so I didn't know. Going into the movie, I didn't know anything about this movie at all. Like, I didn't know who was gonna be in it. Well, I did. I knew that. What's his face? The new Batman, Pattinson. I knew he was gonna be in there. John David Washington. I knew he was gonna be in there. I didn't know Kat, the actress. I didn't know who was gonna be. She was gonna be in there. But before this movie, I had zero expectations. I didn't know the background of the story. I mean, I guess a lot of people didn't because
Yeah,
They kept it
was
tight-lipped.
definitely Very, very tight.
yeah. So they had like
Which is awesome because more movies need to do.
yeah, they were talking about like Michael Caine only. I don't know if this is real or true.
Yeah, yeah.
They had Michael Caine like just a portion of that movie.
He only got his scenes.
Yeah.
and which is kind of fair. He had a very
yeah, and
short scene. But
even then he didn't know
yeah,
what he was gonna
'cause
say.
It was also Robert Pattinson only got to read the script I think once in a
Yeah.
locked room at Warner
Yeah.
Brothers, which is kind of crazy.
But yeah,
Which I respect. I wish more
Yeah.
movies would do that because a lot of stuff gets leaked.
Yeah.
Which mentioned that Batman v Superman is my favorite movie, but that is probably my most angry I've been at a trailer when they're like, haha, Doomsday. That was but let's continue.
But yeah, my thoughts on watching this, I had zero expectations. I know it's Christopher Nolan, so I knew that there was gonna be some sort of twist at the end, or how he. I understand how he creates his movies
Mhm.
and how he puts them together and how he writes stuff. So I already knew that there was gonna be like a twist or something's already happened,
Yeah.
and I kind of tied this movie into Memento because in Memento, like
Still
pretty
didn't
much,
watch it. I said I was gonna
you
watch
still
it.
haven't seen it.
Said I was gonna watch it
Yeah.
before we did this, but I did not.
Yeah.
But and The Prestige is another one. Have not watched, but I think I know the twist, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
If you watch like there's this like video of like on YouTube about how Christopher Nolan did the story for Memento.
Mhm.
That's where I followed that. That's the first thing I
I think.
thought of.
Well, that's one thing that I think I won't mention until we get into the spoiler section. But the
Yeah.
fact that he definitely has a format. He
Yeah.
follows it,
Yeah.
and it's
It has to do
almost-
something with time every time.
Well, not even just time. There's some stuff he does, even just filming wise, that is very just similar to, I'll say, Inception was one. That
Yeah.
I could find a lot of comparisons, not themes or motifs, just how it was filmed, even. Just to say time, like Dunkirk, there's not time travel. It's a war movie. But
Yeah.
the just like a fun fact, the score is based around
Oh, that's- yeah.
a clock, like the ticking of a
Oh
clock,
yeah, I do
which
remember
is
that.
literally so cool. Like, I don't know if that was Hans Zimmer, but because
I think it was Hans Zimmer. He
I-
works on everything.
yeah,
with
he
Nolan.
except this one, which is, I wouldn't say unfortunate, and that's one thing we were talking about, and
The music.
I don't think the score would be a spoiler,
Yeah,
but
no.
the just another like little fun fact, the score wasn't finished when it was done filming,
Yeah.
and so they were gonna start studio sessions for the score,
Yeah.
but then Corona happened, and they had to
Do it
liter-
all at home.
yeah,
through a
each one
Zoom
They
call.
had to like stitch it together
Yeah.
almost, which is insane. But the fact that, and I think that's, you said something about it was kind of off, and I
Yeah.
think that would have to do something to do with it. But I still loved it because I was almost okay with it being off.
Well, the thing is, I'm just so used to like Christopher Nolan having like a very Hans Zimmer kind of
Yes,
music.
Hans Zimmer
And
was
I'm just so
Dunkirk.
used to that. When I didn't know that he wasn't working on this, and when we went to the theaters when I was listening to the music or the score, it just threw me off because there
Yeah,
was
it's
definitely like some
definitely-
weird beats in like especially that highway scene.
Yes,
There was some weird beats going on there, and it was just bizarre for me. It was I don't know. I wasn't.
yeah, I think
Hans Zimmer wasn't in this because he had to work on Dune.
yes, which is
Which is
also
a ki-
very excited for Dune.
I don't know anything about that movie.
Love the original. That's probably up in one of my favorites. Honestly, I would watch that with my granddad all the time. But yeah, I think we talked first impressions. Christopher Nolan, love him. The score. Just thoughts on Nolan movies. I guess we can talk about, because there's not much. I think there's the biggest thing about the movie is the plot, so we can't really go
Yeah.
into spoilers. But
Not yet.
we'll try and cut. We'll get a little more time out of this.
Yeah.
It's non-spoiler stuff, just like Nolan movies, like Inception. Watched that recently in IMAX. That's where we saw Tenet. Actually, was in IMAX, which I believe is the only
It's
way.
probably the only way to watch
But
like
watch
Nolan
any
movies.
movie, almost any movie. If you can see it in IMAX, go see it in IMAX.
If you're gonna watch like this movie, like we said earlier, like watch it on IMAX or any Nolan movies. Really,
Yep.
That's really the best way to do it, because you get the feel of the music, and he integrates that a lot into his
Yes,
movies.
he loves his
It's so important
score,
for
and
him to
that's
have
why he
the
probably gets Hans Zimmer so
Yeah.
much, is because
he understand his
he's a musical genius. Honestly.
yeah.
Because
No, what was your first? I know you said coming out of the movie, right after the movie, you loved it.
Yes,
and you said it was gonna be a top.
I think that is something I guess we can talk about. Is I think it's my favorite Nolan film. It's not his best
Yeah,
by like any stretch of the imagination, which I will throw out a hot take here, and
Yeah.
we can talk about on another episode.
Yeah.
Is Dark Knight Rises
yeah,
better than Dark Knight? Dark
Yeah,
Knight
yeah.
is sold purely on Heath Ledger's performance. Rest in peace. He's definitely one of my favorite actors. Wish we got more from him because he kills it.
I think that was the biggest jump, because like he
Heath
was
Le-
a
yeah.
teen heartthrob kind of like type of actor.
Eight About You, Knight's Tale. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, and then he jumped to like a very, very weird character
Mm-hmm.
for him to play as,
But
because
he kills it, and
he did.
it's unfortunately so sad, and I don't like saying it, but I feel like that he died is the reason he got the Oscar for best supporting.
Yeah,
And
it does feel like that.
but that's
The praises he
I
got for it.
respect it like 100%, and I feel like that pushes that movie along more. But I think Dark Knight Rises was just a better movie. That
Yeah.
has my record for being seen most in theaters. I saw that.
Are
Movie.
we talking about Nolan movies as like best, like the best Nolan movie?
Oh no, that's just Batman. So
Okay.
Dark Knight Rises, I think, is best Nolan.
I want to say Memento. I definitely that was like my first taste of
I believe
Nolan.
it. I believe it. Haven't seen it, but
Yeah,
I'll watch it
yeah.
by the time we film the next one.
That was like
Maybe.
my first taste of Nolan, and then I went to Inception, which was very weird.
Yeah,
Like
I
it was a
love
very
Inception.
strange, because it had Leonardo. Oh, the background collapsed.
No.
Oh, it's going down. The ship's going down.
It's still fine.
It still looks
We're
decent. Oh, never
no, there it goes. Mother.
Hold on, we're gonna cut. We're gonna cut that right there, just for now.
We'll be back.
So, let's see.
We were talking about Nolan films and just
The first impressions.
yes,
Like as soon as we came out, I wanted to record the reactions, but like
yeah.
as soon as we came
that's
out of the
one
movie,
thing, some future content. It was just first impressions.
yeah,
I'd like to do something where we do almost 5 minutes after the movie, 5 hours after the movie, and then 5 days or
yeah,
some
our different thoughts
increments
on
of
it.
time, and just how it's you mellow with it
Yeah.
and feel how you feel about the movie
because honestly,
itself.
after a while, I've been thinking about this movie a lot. After a while, I definitely don't think this is my favorite Nolan movie, but it
What-
is up there.
Which
It
is
is
fair.
probably
I
3 or
honestly
4th.
would not think many people would think this is their favorite because it's not his best or and the what's it not the practicality shit brain went somewhere which is just we'll jump to practicality. That's one reason why I loved it so much was the practicality of it. Like
Yeah.
they literally kind of
I didn't
spoiler,
know that this was a very practical movie.
like they bought a plane to literally crash it in the
I mean, that
movie.
was in the trailer, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like I don't think any movie's done that.
Did you
Like,
watch the trailers before this? I
I
assume
watched
you
most
did.
of the trailers. They did show one thing we could talk about is just like the fact they had I think it was before Birds of Prey because I saw Birds of Prey in IMAX.
They showed, I think the first they did a teaser, and that was the only thing I saw about this movie. They did a teaser just right before I watched 21 Bridges, because I watched 21 Bridges at some point,
I think
and then I
'cause they
saw
had,
that.
like, the oh my god, I didn't even think about that. They show like I think it's the window scene.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's
which
the.
we could almost.
I
maybe
was
have
so
that playing.
confused. I didn't
They're
understand
like
that.
a new protagonist. They literally
Yeah.
say protagonist in
Yeah.
that, which is a thing I guess we can almost say. Main character John David Washington does not have a name in this movie. He's the protagonist, which is really cool. I didn't notice that until Wynn told me maybe
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes ago that he didn't have a name, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I
just
didn't-
right before shooting this, I was telling you about how he doesn't have a name.
I was like, what? And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, he doesn't. And I was like, well, I guess you're right.
So how did they go without like asking, like without saying his name the entire time? I think he had different aliases or something. No, he definitely didn't do that. Because when he met the Russian guy, God damn it, I
really?
don't remember his name. Matthew, what's his name?
Sador?
Sador.
Sador?
Yeah,
It's Sador.
yeah. Because I
'Cause
don't
his
think he said
comp-
anything.
Again, one thing we can kind of go off of is it's an anagram, right? Backwards,
Yeah.
forwards. It's something else. Well, Tenet is an anagram for Tenet, but
Yeah.
Sador and then Rotas, which is Sador's company. And
Yeah.
this is kind of getting into spoilers. I think we kind of got enough.
No, that's completely.
I'd say that's enough time for non-spoilers, so we're gonna get into spoiler stuff because this movie is very plot driven. And
Yeah.
we've got to talk about just spoilers and
No, I don't think we can do this without having
yeah,
spoilers.
at all
'Cause
because there's
it's all new, and you can't really
because like
based
I'd
off
like,
of you can't really be vague about this entire
yeah, like
thing.
Avengers, you can be like, hey,
Yeah.
like
You can pull
superheroes
hints in
going
there.
to save stuff.
Yeah.
This is like a brand new idea essentially of
Yeah.
just and we'll. So we're gonna start spoilers now.
Explaining this is definitely more harder than
Yeah,
because like the plot.
yeah, like see, I'm gonna try and give a non-spoiler thing to wrap up the non-spoiler stuff. Non-spoiler summary: CIA agent fake dies and then saves the world with
Wait, fake
something
dies.
like time travel.
Wait, fake dies. Wait, who?
Because he
Fake
takes
died.
spoiler. We're gonna start the
Oh!
spoilers now. He
Fake
takes the
dies.
CIA, the fake
Oh, the fake pill. I
cyanide
forgot
pill.
about that.
The fake,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
fake pill, which was like all a
Just
test.
right after
So
our
we can
repo.
almost just we're gonna hop right into it.
I want you
Um,
to explain the plot because I definitely have a different like I definitely have a
I
different
think everyone could watch this movie and almost come up with a different
yeah
plot. A couple things to just start is like I'd say characters is a one good place to start. I'd say
Yeah.
our main characters are the protagonist, which is John David Washington,
doesn't have a
Kat,
name.
which I will not don't know her name, and I think they underutilized her. Honestly,
I think she did a great job though
she
yeah
killed it. Elizabeth Debicki, she kills it, and I think that
yeah
it shows that Robert Pattinson is Neil, and then John David Washington protagonist, Kenneth Branagh, um, which was Andre Sator,
yeah.
Sator. I'd say those are your main characters. We got Michael Caine in there because we
He's just a side character. He's like the
Chris,
wizard.
yeah,
and like
Christopher Nolan
yeah
loves. A couple other side ones would be Hamish Patel. He's Yesterday guy,
yeah.
and Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That's literally the only. I think what's her name? Elizabeth Debicki. I think this is maybe the only big movie. No, she was in The Great Gatsby.
She was literally she was the girl in
Oh, Aisha.
she was
Yeah,
the
the
gold
gold one,
lady
like in the
in-
very beginning
yeah,
of the movie.
apparently
Yeah,
it's a side note. Guardians 2, she wants to come back as that role,
Yeah.
which would be pretty cool.
I thought
But
she was
yes,
cool.
Aaron Taylor Johnson was another bigger role, and I think that's really it. Everyone else is kind of side characters, but I'd say your biggest ones are Neil, Kat, the protagonist, and Sator as the villain.
Those are the recurring ones.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd say those are the biggest ones that we'd have to worry
Yeah.
about. I think everyone kills it in all of their roles.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I loved. Like literally, I've watched some movies with John David Washington because I
Yeah.
know I've seen him before. I couldn't tell you one I've seen.
Yeah.
Literally, I honestly fell in love with him in this like role. It was amazing.
He was great in Black Klansman. I loved him in Black
Oh my
Klansman.
god! Literally, see like
Yeah.
he almost has. I feel like a chameleon effect where it's
Yeah.
like, I know I've seen him, but I
Yeah.
don't know in what. But yeah, he love him in that.
I gotta say this one time though, something did throw me off while I was watching the movie about John David Washington. All the exposition about like the future stuff when he talks about it, it definitely did feel off for some reason. I don't know why.
I would agree that
Just-
a lot of this parts of this movie feel off,
Yeah.
and I think it's almost the plot is what
Yeah.
makes it feel off. Is it's just such a almost crazy idea, but it almost feels based in reality. Like this could maybe happen. I don't know. If time travel were to come out tomorrow, I would think it'd be something like that.
If you're like a very science driven person,
Yeah,
I don't think this is the movie for
it'd
you.
be very hard,
But
and
it's
a
a-
lot of it talks about paradoxes.
Yeah.
which are things that can't necessarily be explained. There's not really an answer to them.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's kind of you live in the ambiguity of it all and think, oh, like
He
this
does.
kind of is what it is.
They do say in the movie what happens when you meet yourself. It
You
just kind of collided. It just
You're
it
gone.
just collides and it just it just
Yeah.
Yeah.
The scene, the car chase scene, which I think we can have a whole section as we continue with the characters. But the fact that like I think I'll save it. I'll try and remember it. But like he doesn't. I don't think he sees himself in that car. Like
no.
with
That's what's
which
annoying about
kind of
that.
makes sense. He doesn't see
Yeah.
himself in that car, which kind of makes sense what you're saying because he hasn't run through there yet.
No,
So that actually kind of makes sense with how.
but the
it's-
car was there and the car was driving
because it happens because he
because
went
it
back.
happened.
Well, I
It
think
does.
I think everyone else can see him though, except himself.
No, he
Maybe.
can't see him. Wait, no, I don't think he ever sees himself.
I'm looking up if the car scene to see if you can actually see him in there.
You really?
No,
You
I don't think you do.
Like
Yeah.
I remember watching it the second time. I made sure to watch that. Like you don't. See
Yeah, I don't think you ever see him.
anyone honestly in that car. I don't think because they did shoot everything twice, pretty
Yeah.
much. So I think But again, just back to characters.
Neil
Neil-
probably is the most confusing character for me.
I think he's.
You don't see him at all the whole time that the car scene goes on. It never
Yeah.
shows him.
It never shows like even the window itself doesn't.
It's like blacked out almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost think. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think Robert Pattinson though, Neil, is probably the most interesting character.
Yeah.
'cause
He's to me he's just very confusing.
he is confusing, and I think you had a theory that again we could almost have a whole thing.
I think
about.
we'll talk about that almost at the very end. But
Yeah, but
yeah.
I'll just throw it out there is that like Neil is Elizabeth Debicki Cat, her son Max.
Yeah.
Then it's because it's like they've known each. I don't know. There's a lot. We'll get into that at near the end.
I have so many questions about Neil's character.
There is honestly a lot of questions
Yeah.
I even have about this movie, but I'm just like I'm living with it. I love this
Yeah.
movie. You have the algorithm written down. What is
The algorithm.
Yes. Oh well, yeah, that was the nuclear
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
that you're
Okay.
talking
So
about.
the algorithm stuff, they explained it in there. I was like, it's never actually invented, but it was actually sent back from the future.
Mhm.
But you don't. I don't understand the logic of it because you technically still have to make it and invent it, and then you'd have to send it back.
Well, I thought they did send it back. They inverted it, and they said something about it being in sparse 12s part something.
Yeah, no, that's where he discovered
He
that
found,
stuff.
I think, a piece of the algorithm there.
Yeah,
And like that's where actually I think he got his job and his task. Sator.
no, the way they do his task is that they brought it up again, or they brought the item back again, but it was in that little case.
Yeah,
and he had like a little piece of paper in there
had the
that said
paper and
something
like the
about.
gold bars.
Yeah.
and that's how he gets his fortune, I believe.
Yeah, they
which
just
is-
send that back, but the thing. What really gets me about this is how they also explain the scientist who was forced to make more of this, which I also have a theory about.
Oh yeah, her.
She apparently she was the one who sent all of these things back.
Or she like created it.
She didn't create it.
No, I thought she created.
No one created it. Like that's the whole that's what bothers me about this entire movie is that no one in that movie, no one invented the algorithm. No one.
No, I thought it was.
No, they were trying to manufacture it.
Well, the scientist. She doesn't want it to be used, but everyone else does, and they kind of get the bad guys from the future take control of it and send that to the past, and the nuclear algorithm or whatever it is that's gonna. It is what's his name dies and the bomb goes off is the big thing about it. There's a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions.
I have
and we don't have the answers.
On the second viewing, I was hoping that they would answer it, but I did get more information about it though, because like
it's a movie you have to watch twice. I will definitely say.
I
Even
think
as many times as you want, and you feel content with your answer on it.
If you want to nitpick it, you definitely have to watch it more than twice. But if you just want to watch it because of the storytelling, you definitely have to watch it.
I'd still, yeah. Even if you just wanted to watch it for the story itself, like, it's a movie you almost have to see twice.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't in theaters, when it comes out on DVD, watch it again.
I forgot to add on the notes the Indian lady, the person that's supposed to be the weapon manufacturer. Her name's like Dimple.
Priya.
Yeah, her name's Dimple Kapadia.
Priya, yes.
I
liked her character. Literally all the side characters I liked too.
I didn't expect her to be the.
Yes, that was a good little twist.
Yeah, that was
in
a
the
good.
very
Yeah.
beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
That she was the one that's got a side hustle on her husband's business.
No, that character. I have a theory for her because of how big and prominent she is in this entire movie. I think she's a scientist.
That was what I was about to say.
Yeah.
She could be the scientist, and she's
created
inverted
it.
her way back, and almost she's the mastermind in a sense to get John David Washington and everything. But that's kind of weird because he does kill her at the end, so I don't know about that.
What?
John David Washington kills Priya at the end. Remember? But she's gonna take out Kat, which is interesting. Which I also almost feel like continues to the point of she could be the scientist. Which again, the fact that Max could be Neil is another one, which could be another thing. Maybe she wasn't taking out the hit may not have been on what a cat. It could have been on Neil.
Yeah.
And the fact that they
Yeah.
didn't want this to happen.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They because of Neil, since this entire thing, the reason why this entire thing is happening is because of Neil and how he wants to help John David Washington in the movie. By taking him out, he would be out of the equation and the reasoning why he would need to go back. But then again,
But
that
yeah,
would
but it's
also-
like the weird
that would
thing.
also fuck with
They
the
mentioned
timeline.
the grandfather paradox
Yeah.
as like, if you go back and kill your granddad, would you cease to exist?
Yeah,
Which just, again, it's a paradox. There's no real answer. You don't really know.
I want him to explore that though.
Yeah, yeah,
I want
it's
him to do
very
that. I want to see
confusing.
that.
It's again, a lot of it has almost ambiguity that you kind of just have to live in and just
Yeah.
be okay with it. And that's some movies I'm okay with that. Like this one, I definitely was, and other ones I'm not okay with. One just kind of example of that is definitely Us.
Yeah,
That movie's so ambiguous, and I did not like it because of it. But
yeah.
continuing on just Tenet,
What's his name again? The Sator or whatever his fucking name.
Andre
Andre.
Sator.
No, his actor name.
Oh, something.
He's like Irish.
Yes, he's
I
Irish,
don't
but he
remember
had
his name.
one just kind of. I was gonna save some like little facts for
Kenneth Branagh. Branagh.
yeah, something. He's Irish, but just side. I was
He
gonna
did
say
a good
some.
job on this movie.
I think
Fucking loved him.
he was an incredible villain. Like the one scene they do right before they go into the vault, and he
Yeah.
literally like beats his wife.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god,
You like
okay.
that scene?
I liked his portrayal of it. He killed it. Like I was like, oh my god, he hit a woman.
One thing I don't know if you realize this, but that entire sequence was backwards.
Yeah,
He said those lines backwards.
yeah, exactly.
He like
That's
pulled
what
it
I was
backward. It's
exactly what I was
weird.
gonna say. They learned a lot of the actors learned to speak backwards,
That's gonna be
and literally he's Irish, and he
And he had
did
to
it
do it
in
in
a
Russian.
Russian accent,
Yeah.
which is insane. Like
that's
think
a lot of
that's one
classes.
thing. Yeah, I think one thing about all the actors and just characters, because that's kind of the topic we're on, is just they all did their work. Like, and I think that's goes to the fact of also Christopher Nolan. Just like I feel like he exudes that energy of wanting
Yeah.
to
push the boundaries.
to
do
push the
something
boundaries. Like
different.
just another just like a little fact. Like he apparently doesn't allow chairs on set.
What?
He does not allow people to sit down on his set, because if you're sitting, you're not working.
That's-
which is kind of
So wait, what happens to the people that aren't working? They also don't get to sit.
I don't know, like that.
The
I'm
family
assuming
members
that
visit them.
I'm assuming it's just like they go off somewhere, but I'm assuming it's not as hardcore as it sounds. But that's like, I mean, that's kind of fair. It's like, if you're just not doing anything, why are you sitting on the set?
Do you think this was a time travel movie?
No,
That's a dumb question, but it is a very.
I don't think it
important
is.
question.
I think it's something completely different, and I don't remember what it was called. I have it written down somewhere.
Entropy.
The machines. It was something style, I believe. It was like a turnstile or a time style. I don't remember what it was called. But it's
Matthew, look it up.
it's something in the, because I think I heard both, honestly, in the movie was time style and turnstile.
Yeah.
Or I'm pretty sure it's
Oh yeah, the machines.
Time
style.
style.
Okay.
I was pretty sure it was turn. I swear they said turn at one point. Time in this movie is always happening. It's never. There's never an end to it in a sense.
Yeah.
It is almost, the movie itself is a paradox in
Yeah.
a way. But I think we'll jump to like what we liked about just the entire movie. Like I said earlier, is the practicality sold me, and I think that's why it's my favorite. Is like all the set pieces, like the overshot of like India or just every place they shot. Like it was just so beautiful, and it's like I can tell that's real. Like there's something about it. It's almost like, is that real? And it's like it almost has to be. I couldn't believe that it's not. And I mean, that's one thing we could almost talk about in other movies, like just editing and just CGI and stuff. It's getting to that point. Like, oh my god, like is this real? I don't know.
He definitely. I think Christopher Nolan is definitely the new Steven Spielberg, because he uses CGI and any sort of like not real entities. Like he definitely uses those as a tool instead of, because that's what Steven Spielberg was talking about, how CGI was just
A tool.
a tool.
more than-
It's not.
It's not supposed to be your entire movie.
Yeah.
Well, I think you say Steven Spielberg. I think I see more of a Stanley Kubrick with Christopher Nolan,
Okay.
because when you look at Stanley Kubrick's, I wouldn't say necessarily original stuff.
Yeah.
Like The Shining was a book. I believe 2001: A Space Odyssey was a book. Those are, but they were definitely revolutionary movies, and just I think he was very big into camera tricks and stuff. Or Full Metal Jacket, which is, again, I don't know.
We definitely went off the rail.
Yeah. Well,
we're
we're
talking
just
about what we like.
yeah, we're talking about what we like, but I'll draw into it the fact that I like Christopher Nolan a lot, because Stanley Kubrick is definitely one of my favorite directors. I love everything I watch with even his bad stuff, because he definitely almost every director has some bad stuff, except I would say Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty insane that, and he's done what, 10, 11. I have him actually pulled up here.
Yeah. I definitely, I gotta hand it to Nolan. There's a lot of hype for him, but like I definitely gotta hand it to him for being original. Because the thing about like anything that has to do with science, especially stuff with the law of thermodynamics and stuff like entropy, people will definitely find that boring. But he made it exciting.
He makes it exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say he almost does an Interstellar as well. I mean, space is pretty cool. I'll say that.
But there's no aliens, but he still made it interesting.
He still made it very, very interesting. Yeah. Yes.
But I did like this movie because of how the science.
It's still based in science.
It's based in science, but it's not unrealistic.
Yeah, like I was saying, it seems like this could actually happen, like in a sense.
Yeah.
But
I love the storytelling of this movie.
Yes, I think
it was well done. He understood. He understood how it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and how his science of this movie worked. He understood that very, very much.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I'm sure he consults people, but I feel like
he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is just Nolan himself. I feel like he's a very smart man, even in movies, absolutely, but just in general, he's got a lot of knowledge.
Because it really tripped me up when they were talking about how they were going to kill Sator in that movie, and then he just shows up again. But I guess that was his like future self coming to the boat again. And it's because he had the knowledge of them reversing back to that 12, whatever the place is called. Sparse 12, yeah. He had the knowledge. He had that knowledge of them just being there. So I didn't realize this until we watched it again, that the original, or the past self went away, and then his future self came back
to there. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
That's why it's always perpetual, because it's just him.
It is. The movie itself is really pretty much a paradox, but you just kind of, again, that ambiguity, just got to be okay with it.
I have a lot of time thinking about this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I loved everything about this movie. The performances, the effects, just all of it. The story itself was incredible, and I think it's definitely just why it's my favorite.
I do want to say that some of the performances are very wonky, mainly because they had to do it in reverse.
Yes,
but they still did a good job.
Yes, I will say that one scene in the red and blue room.
Yeah.
A lot of it I couldn't understand because they had the reverse and the forward going at the same time. Yeah, which I get, which is okay, but I was some of the stuff, and that happens in the movies a lot. Honestly, I feel like they try to do something different with the voices or something, and you just don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah,
which is okay. Again, that's something I would say I didn't like. We can jump to that, I guess.
Yeah.
Was that maybe one scene? And actually just watching it recently, I just talked about how I love the scene of him like beating his wife, but the fact like he's scary, but whenever he goes to hit her, it wasn't the best stunt hit.
No.
But that's
No.
okay. It didn't take me out of the moment. It's
Well,
just
hold
something.
on.
It was just something I noticed.
I think that one gets a pass because he had to punch in reverse.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's I was watching like somewhat the behind the scenes because I don't. Why would you? This is something I didn't like about this. Is they released a behind the scenes for this movie on like the Warner Brothers YouTube channel. They released the behind the scenes, and that really bothered me because like that got recommended a lot, especially on like on my even my dad's
Yeah.
YouTube account. It got recommended, and I was like, that really takes out kind of what you're expecting for this movie
Yeah,
because they
just the-
hyped up like
the hiding
a
of
lot
it.
of
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't like that, but in terms of everything in that movie, the things that I didn't like about it was just how there's a lot of questions.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
that's one thing I feel like you have to be okay with is like I was saying, just the questions you're just not going to get answers to some of them, and I feel like a lot of them do have answers,
Yeah.
but I'm okay with not even looking for them because it's
Yeah.
just like I enjoyed this movie for what it is. Like,
that's definitely not me. I mean,
and I understand
love-
that some movies I'm absolutely
Yeah.
like, why is
Yeah.
this and all that.
No,
but
this isn't a movie you nitpick because when you want to nitpick something, you really gotta not enjoy the movie. But
Yeah.
if you enjoy the movie, I don't think that's where
I
you
would-
should nitpick.
that's one thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like just back to Stanley Kubrick in 2001: A Space Odyssey. I've seen that movie once, and I saw it in IMAX
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. I'll never watch that movie again because it was the best movie
Yeah.
experience one of the best movie experiences I will ever have. And I know it's a weird movie, but I don't look up like what it means and stuff because I just want to live with what I have of it. And I have a couple movies like that. Like American Psycho is one of my favorites. I didn't mention that earlier, but it has a sequel, American Psycho 2, with Mila Kunis. I ain't watching that. It's gonna. I don't want it to ruin it. It may not ruin it. I know it's a bad movie, but but yes, back on course of just Tenet.
Oh, I forgot about American Psycho, Mila Kunis. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Just one of those movies that shouldn't exist.
yeah, one thing I think we'll wrap up of what we like and what we didn't like, and I think we both did not like this, was the score. In a sense, it was good, I think, but I feel we definitely both agreed it felt off.
Yeah,
it was very.
But then again, we expected like to be like there's like an expectations to like Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah,
in terms of scoring,
because of Hans Zimmer, and it wasn't Hans Zimmer, but I still feel like the person that did it, which I will pull up their name,
he did a good job. And I think this was his first movie score too. I'm pretty sure. I looked it up at some point, but I'm pretty sure this was like his first movie score, and he nailed it though.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say he did a bad job. I'm just saying it was just off. It just didn't feel as like Christopher Nolan as I thought it would.
Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ludwig.
I think he's Swedish too.
I don't know your last name, but it's yes, you killed it, and it's unfortunate too. The score wasn't finished when filming was done, I believe, and they had to phone in pretty much the rest of the audio, but it's still, and I feel like that's why it does feel a little off. A lot of the stuff is phoned in, and just they had to do the performances separately, and then it's pieced together.
Back after a quick bathroom break. IMDb trivia. I love those things.
Or just some of them were just stuff I noticed. Some of them are just trivia I've seen on IMDb, other places. I said, I think already, but I'll say it again, is the red and blue, definitely big theme. Warner Brothers, definitely already said this, so I'm not going to repeat it because we already have that footage. Next thing I noticed was in the opera, in the very beginning, they have all the bombs they're laying, and the time on the bombs was accurate. And
oh, it correlated with the movie
it,
time?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was 25 seconds at one point when they checked it, and I was like 25, 24, like.
Did you count that entire time?
When I don't remember how much time there was, but I think it was like a minute, and then there's 25 seconds, and then whenever I got to 25 seconds, it showed 25 seconds.
Okay.
So I thought that was pretty cool because some movies do not follow just correlation of time and stuff on like bombs and stuff.
Yeah, 5 minutes could be also 5 minutes later, still 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
So I thought that was a cool little thing.
That also happened at the end, right? like the 10-minute time.
Yeah, it was pretty
The countdown.
close. There was a couple of things where it was like Neil going back and forth messed with it, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it still stayed on
On time.
online with
Yeah.
Then one was that John David Washington's character doesn't have a name. Like that was
Yeah.
like
I thought that was interesting. Maybe he just like he didn't like he just couldn't think of a name, so
I
he
don't
just
know,
went with it.
I thought that was cool though. Like this main character that we have in this movie didn't have to have a name, and it's worked just fine. I didn't even notice. So.
No.
And then the trains in the torture scene were, I feel like, a good symbolism for one was going backwards, one was going forwards,
Yeah.
and I almost felt like it was almost one was going actually backwards. You couldn't really tell, so
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. The Tenet gesture, I thought about it's like that Tenet.
Yeah.
You got five. That makes 10. So Tenet.
But what about the thumbs?
That's 5. What do you? Oh yeah, you're right.
The thumb is like right there, so the thumbs are on the
Maybe.
top.
Oh shit. Well, I don't know. I definitely think it may be that. That's just a thing I kind of put together. It may not hold any water, and it may have just been coincidental.
Yeah.
But it's 10, and Tenet is 10, and then ET it's 10.
Yeah.
10 backwards, pretty much.
I want to talk about the highway scene.
Yeah,
Because that was a good one.
that was a good.
I thought that they were gonna do like a reverse shot, they were gonna do it forward, but they were just gonna reverse the footage. But they actually did the reverse. Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
Did you know?
Yeah, like they shut down the highway
Yeah.
and everything. Like.
They had 20 stunt drivers for that.
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine. There was so many cars going. Even the cars on the side had to probably be stunt drivers because, like, you've got these people, these other.
They're
stunt
just weaving
drivers.
through traffic.
Yeah. So, yeah, the stunt, and again, all practical for as far as I can tell. I'm sure there was some little like CGI and stuff. But I didn't.
No, there was a few. I noticed at
I'm
least.
sure there was a few, like even just explosions and stuff. But even the opera scene, that was a practical explosion for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm sure they prettied it up and everything. But
another trivia is that they went to a lot of countries for this movie.
Yes, they did go all over the place for this movie.
One thing that we're talking about in like that behind the scenes was that how they went from shooting in California, and then a week later they had to go do a set dressing on another country. I think I don't remember which one, but it was for that highway chase scene.
Yes.
And they had to go all the way down there, and then another shot probably in India, I'm assuming, and then they had to go to another place, which is freaking nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure the actors and the crew sleep schedules were all over the place.
Well, they were getting paid though.
Yes, everyone I'm sure got paid very nicely.
It's almost funny to me how the budget was $200 million,
Yes.
but with no CGI. I would almost think that having more CGI would be more expensive.
I don't know. I feel like it would probably be cheaper.
Would it? Because like you're hiring more people
You
to
are
do
hiring
more things.
People, but think as many cars as they had and how many just the explosions. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure explosions are probably a little expensive.
Yeah, I think explosives are like $10,000, especially for those type.
Yeah, like and just all the
like
stuff.
not like as
and
the whole thing, but
permits.
just
I'm sure literally having to shut down a highway for a week is probably a little expensive.
I kind of want to know how that conversation went with the people from transportation.
I forgot what it was. I gotta look it up. It's because I'm pretty sure he shoots a lot where that is. I think
Is it Greenland?
Canada.
Canada.
It's Greenland, Canada, something like that.
I know Canada's like his big place. Because he planted wheat for Interstellar in that one area.
Yeah.
In Victoria,
it
I think.
probably is Canada.
It's European, so I'm assuming it's like.
Yeah. Wow, it literally has like on this website like coordinates and everything of like the hotel.
They have everything in there.
They've got
That's
a lot.
so
here.
weird.
The hotel. This.
Oh, look at
road.
that. That's the go back down.
Here's the road here.
Oh wow.
God, what is it? Lidviki? What?
Agnati.
Lagnati Road. It's in Russia. It looks like.
What? They filmed a movie in Russia?
I think it looks Russian, honestly. Where
It does kind of look Russian.
And that almost kind of makes sense that they. It looks Russian.
Did he film things on site? Like, did he film like those like scenes that was supposed to be Russian in Russia?
Maybe. I mean, it's sticking true to it.
Damn.
One thing I completely forgot to talk about this, but the fact that it's one thing I noticed. I guess it's just another thing I can talk about is they talk about they explain the plot while walking through the city, and they do that in Inception. The same thing.
Yeah.
Walking through the city.
Yeah.
And that's probably just like a little Christopher Nolan maybe nod even to Inception, because I remember a lot of people thought this could have been like a sequel to Inception.
Yeah, I can see that.
Whenever people would talk about this movie, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be like Inception but time travel, and I would say it lived up to that, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then just Sator's name and Rotos being his company. That's like based off the Latin anagram cube or something.
Rotos.
Like, yeah,
Is it?
Tenet. It's like Tenet's in the middle, and you can literally turn it whatever which way. Well, I'm sure we can pull up something. One thing I thought was very interesting was in the airport scene when they're in the lock and John David Washington's fighting himself with the lockpick injury. He gets stabbed. He stabs himself with the lockpick. The guy in the gas mask, John David Washington with the gas mask, gets stabbed by the lockpick with John David Washington without the mask.
Yeah.
And while they're in the cargo container, his arm starts hurting, and that's the injury. But it's weird to think he's going backwards and living up to that moment he gets stabbed.
Yeah.
So he gets stabbed, and then does it heal instantly? Because he doesn't act like it hurts.
I don't know. He definitely did try to kill himself, though.
Yes. Yes, he did.
He shoots himself that entire scene and sequence.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. He's literally shooting the gun at himself. But like I would assume since he's going backwards, it would he'd get stabbed and then it'd go away. Like I don't think he'd live with that injury because literally he went in reverse. It already healed.
Yeah.
So he went in reverse to where it healed, and then it happened. And I would assume once the lockpick's out, it's fine now.
Yeah.
Which I think that's how it would work. Again, the science is just weird.
It's just
You
weird.
just live with it. Like again,
The producers for this were probably like scratching their heads the entire
what
time.
is going on?
Like, how
They're
the
shutting down a highway.
And that's not just a regular plane, too. That's a
biggest
big plane.
747.
Yeah.
Um.
So does that mean that was it Warner Brothers who came out with this movie?
Yes, it was Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, did you just have a plane now, just sitting? Yeah, they're just gonna have it. Yeah.
Like if they already had a plane, I honestly think it looked like from that plane that it was probably definitely an older plane, and they kind of repainted it, maybe even. And
I don't think that
because that's what they do. Like with stunt cars, they get like an old crappy car and then put like a thing.
Yeah,
over it
they
to
just
make
put
it
a
look-
shell.
Yeah,
But I think for this one, I don't think it actually has an engine. It just has a simulated engine.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a shell.
Because you know how
of a
fucking
plane.
dangerous that would be to have cameramen just like sitting right by that plane.
It's probably a shell of a plane.
Yeah.
And just kind of pushed it.
Yeah, because I would think
Yeah.
I would think the expensive part of that entire plane would be the engines.
That's true, and that's probably something that was CGI.
Yeah.
The
No, not even CGI. They just had a simulated fan that
Yeah,
just
that's
goes
true.
around. Yeah.
because it's going so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all little. But final thoughts. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. I will give it a 9 out of 10. Honestly,
Yeah.
I would say I have very few 10 out of 10s, but I'd give it a 9 out
Yeah.
of 10. And I'm sure it may age poorly, I may find it not good in a week.
I don't think Christopher Nolan's movie ever ages though.
Not really.
No.
Literally, I could
No.
throw on any of them right
Yeah.
now and be like, this is awesome. So I love this movie. I think everyone should go see it. I wish it was making more money right now, but
No, I don't think it's gonna
Corona
happen.
and everything worldwide,
Yeah.
it's done about 200, and then I think here it's done about 50 mil. So hopefully it does better. I don't want movie theaters to die, so we can keep doing this.
I want them to die. Just
I-
release them on fucking
no,
streaming services.
No, it makes me so sad. But I hope this is definitely something we're living in history right now
Yeah.
with definitely movies. Like I hope movies get to live on. And but yeah, love Tenet. Tenet was great. I think next week episode, whatever, however we're gonna schedule this, we're gonna do Mulan and Antebellum as kind of this segment.
Yeah.
One thing we did not mention in just like future content, we'd like to do a movie book club. I guess we can kind of almost do this as our movie book club. So go watch Mulan or Antebellum before you watch the next one, so you can know what you're talking about. So you can watch the spoiler section and not get it spoiled.
I only give it a 7 out of 10 because even though I did not like watch any like trailers for this movie except for that one teaser, it was definitely overhyped. It was
I would agree.
very
Well,
overhyped.
it was supposed to come out April, I think.
Sometime March, I think,
It was around that time.
or April. It might have been April, but yeah, it was definitely overhyped. I definitely saw a lot of people talking about how Tenet was gonna be great on Twitter. That's where I saw that, and how people were very excited. It's like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
July 17th was
Okay.
the original release, and it got pushed back
Yeah.
to August 26th. So that's
Yeah.
I guess it is. But yeah, the 17th of July. So it was only a month.
Yeah.
But I think it is also, like I was saying, just movie theaters are kind of relying on Tenet right now. Like the smaller
Yeah.
theaters.
Yeah.
If Tenet isn't gonna do well, it's not. Those theaters will go under, which is sad. But
I think
go watch at a local theater or something.
yeah, there was an area at one point where they sold what do you call that? A full like
Yeah,
a full theater, a single like theater for one person for like $300, and they could watch the entire movie alone.
which is cool.
I kind of wanted to do that.
That's what also I mentioned earlier. Space Odyssey. I watched it alone, and that's another reason why that big IMAX theater all alone. Go see Tenet if you haven't, and I don't know why you watched or you're at this point if you haven't watched Tenet. But
Wait, hold on. You gotta watch it at your own risk. Don't tell people to watch it
Go
because they're
watch
risking.
Tenet.
Watch it at your own risk. If you can wait, I would wait.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
You're right.
if you can wait, just wait. But like, watch it at your own risk. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask,
get a bunch of
yes.
alcohol like for your fucking hand. Just no, actually no. Don't drink while watching the movie.
Hand sanitizer.
That's not what
is
I'm saying. I'm
he
talking about
meant.
Yeah, I'm talking about hand sanitizers. I'm just watch it at your own risk.
Yes. Wait till it
this
comes
is-
at home if you don't feel safe. And
No one's
you're out.
watching this right now, so I mean, no one's watching this right now, so no one's gonna talk about it. Like your friends aren't gonna talk about it. They're probably also avoiding Rona. Just watch this movie at your own risk.
Yes.
It is. I would recommend it though. I mean, I would recommend this, but watch this. Don't think about
Don't think about it too hard.
the mechanics of the entire thing, because when I watched this the first time, I was semi drunk and I was definitely thinking a lot about the mechanics of the time travel they did, and I really missed a lot.
Tenet's great. Go see it, and when the time is right. Hope y'all enjoyed. This was a good first episode, I think. We'll hopefully be doing more, and see y'all next time.